And speaking of work, what are you doing? What are you pursuing? I know we just spoke it a little while ago, but just for the listeners, people that listen to us that might have an interest in what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're doing. Explain
Okay.
it.
So I started a company about 2 years ago, My Anonymously. And the reason I started it was because I was
Shameless
always
plug.
and let me just put it out there, www.myanonymously.com, and the Lee is actually Lee. So,
Okay. Make sure y'all know how to spell anonymous.
Right, Bruce?
if you don't know how to spell it, you don't have no business on my website. Okay. If you don't know how to spell it, you don't have no business asking me for a resume. Okay. But anyway, so I write resumes, and so most people they don't understand the importance of a resume. And a resume is something that lists your accomplishments. What have you done for the last 10 years of your life?
Yeah.
Just like you would show in high school, where you have grades that progressively show where you're at and compared to other students. Well, your resume does the same exact thing, but people don't understand the importance of it, so they kind of just slap some words on a piece of paper.
Let me pause you right there, Killer. Since you in the hiring position, how do you feel about resumes and what she's talking about and the importance of it?
No, not in my
Not in-
field.
nah?
My field, I am in a hiring position, but my field is retail.
Yeah.
So I don't really accept resumes in a sense. Like the resume is what we put on the website.
Yeah.
And I ask you to fill out line for line what I want to know about you.
Got you.
So it's not really, somebody's not gonna really send me a resume directly now. So if I'm gonna be hiring a salary person,
Yeah.
then that's where but that doesn't happen too often. It does happen, but it doesn't happen too often. So it's not really like something that would apply to me in a sense.
Okay. Continue, Miss Lee.
Right. So I build resumes. Some people do come to me and they have their own resumes already, and I just look over them and kind of just embellish them and make sure we use a system called ATS, and it's a tracking system that employers use when they're trying to pull resumes to get specific employees, and they put in certain words, and people don't know those certain words, so when they're writing their resumes, those words are missing.
How do you make somebody's last 10 years? If somebody's been working at a job for, let's say, X amount of time, how do you make that last 10 years or however long they've been working at that position or that place seem
Better.
into another company?
Yeah.
Growth. If you tell me you've been working at a company for 10 years, I don't want to see that you've been doing the same position for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
So if I see that you've every year or maybe every 2 years you've progressed into another role, then I capitalize on that. A lot of people don't understand the importance of actually breaking down every position that you've done with that employer.
Got you.
Okay, got you.
That's what's up.
All right, so what are some of the things that somebody, I'm not trying to give away all your game now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so stop me if he's like, yo, listen, if you want that information, holla at me
You're
at
fine,
whatever it was. But like,
What's a trash resume look like?
no, what's okay.
That's what I want to know. Because I see resumes.
As an employer, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of young candidates that really just I feel like there's a thing with the younger generation now. How have you been able to help the younger candidates of this generation, of the generation that's coming up now? How have you been able to enhance their resumes, especially some of them? Let's say they're not in a professional field and they're looking to pursue that. How do you make them?
One of our listeners say you sound too low, so you gotta.
Who's that? Her?
You.
Me?
Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta put the mic a little bit.
Okay,
closer.
turn her mic up though.
It's damn near all the way up.
Well, give her
Okay.
all the way.
Yeah, damn near. Go ahead.
So how would I help a young candidate? Well, it definitely depends on the position that they're going for, because obviously if you're looking to apply for an acting role, you don't necessarily need the traditional resume that someone who's been working in corporate America would need. Each resume is tailored to the position that they're applying for. So I always ask, what is the website or what is the link that you saw the position that's being offered on, and I have them send it to me, and from there I can tailor it towards what the employer is asking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, dope.
And what's a trash resume look like? Because again,
I'm not going there with you.
I feel like, yo, like listen, like we all know my little situation. Your boy got murked from the job, whatever. But I feel like I put my resume out and I wrote it myself, and I feel like I perfected it over a certain amount of time. And I feel like in my field, I know what people are looking for when they look at a resume. In
Right.
my field specifically,
Right.
you obviously deal with all fields, so you have more of a barometer, or I don't know the exact word, but in my field, I feel like I know what people are looking for. So when I put my resume out, a lot of my colleagues, I would say, they put their resumes out and they don't get the same response.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like, damn nigga, what you got on your resume? I'm just like, I feel like I know how to talk, know how to sell myself on my resume.
Exactly.
And I put it out there. You know what I mean?
So exactly what you just said, you sell yourself.
Yeah.
So people don't understand that this piece of paper is the first introduction that someone has to meeting you. It's not the face-to-face. This piece of paper is going to decide whether or not they're intrigued enough to find out more about you. So maybe you're selling yourself on your paper, but your peers are, a lot of people I see, they have a lot of grammatical errors.
Yeah.
I see some people that write in different fonts, and it's the small things that add up to the big things.
Got you.
So there's a lot of different things, but like I was telling you before, with growth, a lot of people don't put in there that they've been with a company for 10 years. For instance, they'll write cashier, and they don't say what they did before they did a cashier, what they did after they did cashier. They just literally list the fact that they were a cashier for 10 years at Publix, when in actuality, you probably worked in the deli, you probably worked in the bakery, you
Yeah.
probably worked, all over that store,
Okay.
but you only listed one position.
Okay.
Right. So being somebody that's been in retail for the longest, I've never personally had to put out a resume, and my perspective of a resume is just like, it's like voting for the election. It's like, ain't nobody looking at this.
Yeah.
So is it true somebody is looking at this, and how do I generate a resume of somebody that's anonymous to me? I don't know who they are, what their way of thinking is, to ensure that that person is looking at mine.
Well, again, remember I was telling you about that tracking system that the employers use. They don't even have to go into the system and handpick your resumes anymore. Computers will bring that to them.
Okay.
Right? So, and all they do is type in a word, and they say, go find me 20 resumes that have this word on it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So again, shout out the website.
www.myanonymously.com.
Damn,
And that's
definitely
L-
sound like a necessary service,
And that's
sound like
LEE.
You're proficient at it, so.
Know how to spell anonymous. LEE.
Com.
All right.
Well, double
just
place
hit
it on
her-
the screen.
Hit up for the secrets,
Yeah.
and she gonna get your resumes right, man. I know a
Right.
lot of y'all out there need work. Y'all probably watching us like, what these niggas doing?
Yeah, right.
So
right.
you know what I mean? It is what it is.
And
But
that's not just a local thing, like, you know what I'm saying? This is worldwide,
Right.
so anywhere
Exactly.
anybody
Exactly.
could
Right.
utilize it. So
so what's